Imagine you're on a small ship, a tin can, facing down the largest battleships ever built. Your job is to protect the defenseless carriers behind you, no matter the cost. This isn't a movie script. This was the reality for the crew of the USS Samuel B. Roberts on October 25, 1944. Welcome to one of the most incredible stories of naval warfare, the Battle off Samar. Our story begins in the pre-dawn darkness off the coast of the Philippines. An American task unit, codenamed Taffy 3, was providing air support for the landings at Leyte Gulf. Taffy 3 was a light force, composed of small, slow escort carriers and a screen of even smaller destroyers and destroyer escorts. Their job was to hunt submarines and support ground troops, not fight a surface battle. They were the Davids of the sea, never meant to face a Goliath. But that morning, Goliath appeared. Through a series of miscommunications and unfortunate events, the massive Japanese center force, led by Admiral Takeo Kurita, had slipped through the San Bernardino Strait undetected. This was the most powerful surface fleet Japan still possessed, including the super battleship Yamato, armed with colossal 18-inch guns. When lookouts on Taffy 3 spotted the pagoda-style masts of Japanese warships on the horizon, disbelief turned to horror. They were outnumbered, outrun, and hilariously outgunned. An American pilot flying overhead radioed in. "I'm in the presence of the Japanese main fleet. I am being fired upon by all calibers of guns." The commander of Taffy 3, Rear Admiral Clifton Sprague, knew his situation was desperate. The Japanese battleships could hit his carriers from over 20 miles away. His only option was to run. He ordered his ships to turn into a nearby rain squall for cover, launch every available plane, and make smoke. The sky quickly filled with American aircraft, some armed with bombs and torpedoes, others with nothing at all. Pilots made dummy attack runs, strafed the bridges of Japanese ships, and did anything they could to disrupt the enemy's aim and buy time. But it wouldn't be enough. The Japanese fleet was closing in, their shell splashes getting dangerously close to the American carriers. In a moment of sheer desperation, Admiral Sprague gave an order that has echoed through naval history. "Small boys, attack." He was ordering his screen of destroyers and destroyer escorts to turn and charge the enemy. It was a suicide mission. Among those small boys was the USS Samuel B. Roberts, a mere destroyer escort. To call it a warship next to something like the Yamato was a stretch. It was nicknamed Adia, but its crew affectionately called it the destroyer escort that fought like a battleship. Its commander was Lieutenant Commander Robert Witcher Copeland, a man who understood the grim reality of his orders. He got on the ship's intercom and told his crew, "Men, we are about to go into a fight against overwhelming odds from which survival cannot be expected. We will do what we can with what we have." With that, the Samuel B. Roberts, along with its fellow destroyers like the USS Johnston and USS Hull, turned into the wall of enemy steel. Zigzagging to avoid enemy shells that were kicking up massive geysers of water all around them, they charged forward. Their primary mission was to get close enough to launch their torpedoes. The Roberts had only 3. Through a storm of shellfire, the Sammy B closed the distance. It was so close that the massive guns of the Japanese battleships couldn't depress low enough to hit it, but the cruisers could. Despite the chaos, the crew performed flawlessly. They launched their torpedoes at the heavy cruiser Chukai. One of them found its mark, a devastating blow that crippled the Japanese warship's steering and eventually led to its sinking. 3 torpedoes, 1 massive hit. Their main weapon was now spent, but the Samuel B. Roberts wasn't done fighting. Commander Copeland knew he still had a role to play: draw fire away from the carriers. He ordered his ship to engage the next cruiser in line, the Shikumao, with its 2 5-inch guns. These guns were like pea shooters against the heavy armor of a cruiser, but they could still do damage to its superstructure, its gun directors, and its bridge. For the next hour, the little destroyer escort duked it out with the Japanese cruiser, firing over 600 rounds. The gunners, like the heroic gunner's mate Paul Henry Carr, kept the guns firing even as they glowed red hot. They scored hit after hit, setting the Chikuma's bridge on fire and causing havoc. The Japanese were stunned. They thought they were being attacked by a heavy cruiser, not a tiny escort. This unbelievable bravery came at a terrible price. The Japanese fleet finally found the range. A shell from the battleship Congo tore a massive hole in the Roberts engine room. More hits followed, one after another, ripping the ship apart. Power was lost. The decks were a scene of carnage. Commander Copeland, seeing his ship was mortally wounded and sinking, gave the final order: abandon ship. The Samuel B. Roberts, the DA that fought like a battleship, slipped beneath the waves. 90 of its crew went down with the ship or were lost at sea. The sacrifice of the Samuel B. Roberts and the other ships of Taffy 3 was not in vain. Their suicidal charge, combined with the relentless air attacks, had sowed chaos and confusion in the Japanese fleet. Admiral Korea, baffled by the ferocity of the resistance and believing he was facing a much larger American force, made a fateful decision. He turned his fleet around and retreated, just as he was on the verge of annihilating the American carriers and reaching the vulnerable landing beaches at Leyte. Taffy 3 had won an impossible victory. The survivors of the Samuel B. Roberts, including Commander Copeland, endured over 50 hours in the water, fighting off sharks and exposure before being rescued. The heroism of the crew was recognized with numerous awards, including a posthumous Silver Star for gunner's mate Paul Carr, who died at his post trying to load one last round into a wrecked gun mount with his bare hands. The story of the USS Samuel B. Roberts is more than just a battle account. It's a testament to the human spirit, a story of ordinary people rising to an extraordinary challenge. They faced certain death, but chose to fight for the lives of their comrades. Their actions on that October morning changed the course of the war in the Pacific and became a benchmark for courage against which all other naval actions are measured. For decades, the final resting place of the Samuel B. Roberts remained a mystery. But in 2022, an expedition led by explorer Victor Vesavo finally discovered the wreck. It lies nearly 7,000 meters deep, the deepest shipwreck ever found, a silent monument to the men who served on it. Finding the wreck brought a final, poignant closure to this incredible saga, reminding us once more of the profound sacrifices made in the darkest days of war. The legacy of the Sammy B teaches us that true strength isn't measured in the size of your guns or the thickness of your armor. It's measured in the courage of the heart and the willingness to stand and fight, even when all hope seems lost. It's a story that deserves to be remembered, a story of valor that will inspire generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey into history. If you found this story as moving as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of incredible courage. Let us know in the comments what other historical events you'd like us to cover. See you next time.